I don't even like wine, but guess what? You're gonna like it. I need some cheese.
What's up, guys? This is Barnabas, aka Mac and Cheese, bringing you a video on my class setups. Just wanted to go through and show you the first 3 classes that I set up as soon as I have the opportunity to set up classes, and this one is my go-to class. So this is the one that I'm most comfortable with, that I do the best with, and this is my Buzz Lightyear class. It's got the scar with a red dot. Usually I have a extended mags for the best situation, but I have to work up to that. So I start off with that as my primary. Then my secondary is an MP9, which is my favorite machine pistol. Throw a silencer on that to stay under the radar. Now for grenades, I use a Semtex because I feel a lot more accurate with that. I feel that the blast radius is bigger, or at least I'm more precise with where I'm expecting the blast radius to be versus a frag and it rolls around. Bouncing Betties I never get kills with, and the only other viable option for me would be a Claymore, but for this class I'm going to be running around a lot more, so I use a Semtex. Flash grenades I use to basically check areas for hit markers, see if there's enemies in that area, so I will use that because the blast radius again is much larger on the flash grenade than it is on a concussion grenade. And I haven't tried any of the other like the MP ones, but for now I stick with the flash. Sleight of hand, hardline, and stalker are my favorite perks. Sleight of hand because I can reload faster, obviously. Hardline gets me to my kill streaks faster, and Stalker Pro basically gives me a little bit more mobility. Now for my kill streaks, I use a very similar setup to Modern Warfare 2, which would be like Predator Missile, Harrier Strike, Pavelo, and I've got Predator Missile, Chopper, and Reaper, and I feel like if you get one of those, you have a very good chance of getting the rest of them. So that's why I tend to use that. It helps me get those the higher games, because I can kind of get through those kill streaks a lot faster and a couple times through, or a couple times in one game. For my death streak, I just use Juiced because I don't really care too much for it. I just kind of want to get back in the action. I don't really care about, last standing or doing something, I don't know, that basically keeps me in the fight a little bit less or gets me one extra kill. I'd rather just get back into it. So that's kind of the first class setup that I go to. And again with the scar, because it does have a lot of recoil, I throw kick on that. Helps out quite a bit, and yeah. So that's the first class that I set up. The second one, since I do play a lot of domination, you'll see here in a second, I'm going to go to Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head, and those are my 2 domination classes. Mr. Potato Head is a little bit more of an aggressive class for domination, so I'm going to use the M4A1 with kick, and I'm going to put a silencer on it so that I can stay off the radar as much as possible. Now the MP9, I should have a silencer on that as well, but for some reason I don't here. Now again, like I said, since this is a little bit more aggressive, I'm going to throw on recon, because since domination is a very strategic type of gameplay, I want to be painting, or at least, since I don't have a UAV setup with this class, I'm going to use recon so that I can paint the enemies on the map whenever I get a hit marker or whenever I hit them using Recon Pro, which I'll eventually get. Since this is again my more aggressive class setup for domination, I have higher kill streaks, and therefore I'm going to use Hardline Pro so I can get to those kill streaks a little bit faster. Stalker again, just to kind of give me a little bit more mobility as I move around and try and be a little bit more aggressive with this class. And again, I'm just using the M4A1 in this one, but you can use any assault rifle I feel that you are the most comfortable with, or ones that you'll feel like you'll get a bunch of kills with and put a little bit of higher kill streak. Now for the next class setup is my Mrs. Potato Head class, and that's a little bit less aggressive type class. It's a class where I'm going to basically be holding down B-Dom, or a very highly trafficked area that's going to be getting a lot of, I assume, grenades thrown at me and things like that. So that's my less aggressive domination class, and I basically set those 2 up and my more comfortable class setup. But as we look at the Mrs. Potato Head setup here, use assault rifle, whichever one you want. I have an ACR. Eventually I'll put a red dot or something on there. maybe even a silencer, just to kind of, again, keep me off the radar. And the only real differences that we have here is that I'm using the trophy system in this one, and that's to stop, incoming grenades, predator missile, things like that, as I'm trying to capture, a like B-Dom or something like that, right? And then I have the blast shield as my second perk, just to back myself up if the trophy system fails or if it, goes down super quick. And then the last thing to kind of note here with this class is that I'm running a support class, because since I am going to be constantly running towards, say, B-Dom, I'm probably not going to get a bunch of kills in a row. So I have it set up for support, and I've got UAV, ballistic vests, and SAM turret. And that's basically because, again, I'm not going to be getting a bunch of kills in a row, and I want my kill streaks to kind of stack up so that I can get to them. So for me, that's kind of how I set up my first 3 classes. I've got a very comfortable class, or my ultimate go-to class, which is my Buzz Lightyear. I've got Mr. Potato Head, which is a little bit more of an aggressive domination class, and then I've got Mrs. Potato Head for a less aggressive domination class. Now, as I go through the rest of my class setups, I basically want to tune them to what you play the most. I play a lot of domination. The Buzz Lightyear class works for that. So does Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head, and so does my other classes, which I will talk about later. But the next video I'm going to show you is going to talk about my sniper class and my 2 search and destroy classes. So stay tuned for that, and I hope you guys liked this video, got something out of it, and I appreciate your support, and I will see you next time. All right, peace.